just want to kind of piggyback off of what these two gentlemen were talking about. I would encourage you guys to seriously go Google the information and the story behind Michael Hester. I mean, it runs deep. Okay, you want to talk about corruption, you want to talk about accountability, or the lack thereof. Okay, you will find all of that within his story. There was a particular sergeant deeply involved in that was having issues going back to 2012. Okay, there was a letter from another officer expressing concern about this individual, and the chief of police at the time was CC'd on that email, indicating the clear issue that officer had. So 2012, that's 8 years ago. So, read all of the information there, and that will give you a really good understanding about how corrupted that organization has been for years. And and it's not just Michael Hester. Me and my brother had issues with Westland PD back in the day. Again, the only reason why any of this came to light is because a check had to be written to this man, rightfully so too, and nobody knew about it until then, and started asking the questions: why are we writing this check? That's the only reason why it came out. Otherwise, his situation would have been just another racial profiling situation that got out of hand. And so when you guys do read this, just think about it, because this could be any one of us. This is how corrupted bad policing can be. Now, I'll be the first to sit here and say I 100% support the police, period. I don't believe in defunding the police at all. I'm in the military. But there are some bad apples within police departments and like anywhere else. I know at my job, if I was doing some of that stuff that sergeant was doing, or if I was doing, some other stuff that other officers were doing in other police departments within other states and cities, if I got mad and I put my neck on another employee while I was at work, not only will I be fired, but I'd be in jail right now. So why do these guys get a pass? So again, thank you. So again, I really encourage you guys to Google Michael Hester's story and really hone into what he went through and the things that the police department did to this man just to help a fishing buddy, which I've always thought that was weird. Why would the chief of police put his neck on the line for a fishing buddy? So you also got to ask that question too. But we should all be alarmed, being citizens in different communities. We should be really, really alarmed on the power that your local leaders have, power that police departments have, and the things that they can do to you if they don't like you. And that it's not okay, because that's not within their scope of the responsibilities of their job. Protect and serve, community policing. I haven't seen that in a very long time. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, because it does happen, but unfortunately, a lot more bad policing is happening. And a lot more of these police officers are getting quitted. Some of them may get fired, but then they're coming back with their pensions. Or if they do get let go, then they're able to retire. And that shouldn't happen. They should be in jail. No pension, no nothing. 3 hots in the cot, you know what I'm saying? That's what they deserve. So it's important that, we as, American people come together and just, and understand that there is racism. Don't let people like Brian Tatum, don't let people like Kenneth Owens, tell you any different. They're great people, they're knowledgeable people, but If they're going to tell you that racism is in your head, they're wrong. Don't listen to people like that. Racism is still rampant. It maybe hasn't gotten worse, but it's definitely getting filmed now. All right? So it's important. Now, should we allow that to be our demise? Should we allow that to be a crutch? Absolutely not. But if we don't understand that we got a problem, then we're not going to be able to sit there, talk about it, and figure out actionable items on how we combat it. Now, we're not going to change every person who's racist their mind, but if we can start to really talk to each other, understand what Black people have gone through, get to know your neighbor, try not to have preconceived, notion about those people, then we can really start to really, do some damage and then overcome the monsters that are out there. And it's also going to be personal accountability too. We all got to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, are we doing everything that we can do to be better? And then also, are we doing everything that we can do to do something within our communities and do something to help somebody else out? And I think what Anthony's doing in downtown, I think that's amazing. We need a protest, and he's doing a great job of putting that story out there, letting you guys know what's really going on. And so we need to continue that. But I do agree with Michael Hester. I mean, we can only talk so long, all right? And so again, this community, I live in Clackamas County, not too far from downtown Portland, but we all should be getting involved in local government and making those local leaders work for us. That's their job, And I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump. I'm not at all. But I also think that he ain't the only person that's causing this mess. There's a lot of people out there, politically wise, a lot of local leaders that for some reason think we work for them. And Donald Trump and everybody else need to understand they work for us. And so we all got to have a voice. We all got to get out and vote. Get educated on the people that you're voting for. Don't be afraid to speak up. Somebody might not agree with you, and that's fine. At that point, we can start having conversation about that. But again, to my white folks, if you see somebody being racist, talking racist, call them out, and don't be afraid to, because you got a lot of people that's gonna back you up. But again, I just want to encourage you guys to really get online, look up what happened to Michael Hester, and really read all the stories about what happened, read about what they found out. It runs deep. It runs really, really deep. And from a policing perspective, it really should concern us all, because if a police officer doesn't like you, he could take you down a road that's dark and very, very daunting, all right? And these clowns being racist got caught. And it's unfortunate because, the Westland mayor, and again, local leaders should have been asking that question from the jump street, and not being scared and putting their head between their legs and running, which is exactly what we saw at the Westland council meeting when they had that shortly after everything came out in regards to him. And so, they didn't have a whole lot of answers. The new chief of police, Terry Kruger, was there. He got suspended, rightfully so, because he knew about it. And I come from the Army, and so, in the Army, I would say 95% of the time, because the military isn't perfect either, but when something happens to a soldier, it's like a domino effect, just like that. Leaders down the chain get relieved immediately, and that's how it should be in every single organization, whether it's law enforcement, whatever type of business. Leaders need to be held accountable if they're not knowing that there's a problem, and then working to curb it. And so we all need to be truly involved in making sure that our local leaders are doing their job. And if not, then it's our responsibility as American citizens, and then citizens within your counties, your cities. It's all of our responsibility to get them out of office and find somebody that will. Because as you can see, with this epidemic, taught us a lot about, our posture as a nation, right? The economy, right? Okay. How many businesses have failed immediately after the economy? That tells me they wasn't doing the right thing for years, and the economy, the COVID pandemic opened up a lot of Pandora's box. All right, so just again, you think about everything that's going on, but we gotta stay strong. We gotta recognize and understand that racism is alive and well, and we gotta find a way to combat it. Because what happened to George Floyd, and I don't care what his background, nobody deserves to have a knee to the neck. All right, so. Yeah, so I kind of got on my soapbox for a little bit, but the point I really wanted just to stress is look up Michael Fesser's story, because he could tell you everything, but some of the stuff that they found is very, very, very disturbing. So, all right, thank you. Thank you.